Welcome everyone to our weekly live IEP coaching. I'm excited to talk to you about something good, something that feels great when it comes to IEPs and why we're doing all of this IEP stuff. This whole process that seems like a struggle, we're doing it for a reason, right? We're doing it to make sure that a child is receiving an appropriate education, that we're meeting their unique needs, that we're preparing every child for further education, employment, independent living. We're talking all the time about getting your data and having these goals and making sure we have the right accommodations and modifications and all of the things. But a lot of times we forget to focus on specifically the present levels of performance. You know, at least once a year, everybody needs to sit down as an IEP team and make some pretty big decisions. And a lot of times we're talking about weaknesses, we're talking about deficits, we're talking about things that have gone wrong and what we're going to do to fix them, but we're not celebrating enough. And there's a great place inside of the IEP. In fact, I was doing a live on Instagram with one of our master IEP coaches, Suri, and I asked her what her favorite part of the IEP is, you know, what kind of strategy she likes to use. And she brought up the present levels of performance. And I was like, yes, we don't talk about that enough. So present levels of performance is a place in every IEP that talks about what a child can do. A lot of times when we're talking about what a child can do, we're pairing that up with what a child can't do. And I get it. That's a normal thing where we're saying like, well, the child can count to 10, but we're not quite to 20 yet. I get it. But here's the thing. Inside of the present levels of performance, it is absolutely critical that we're always focusing on what the child can do, not what they can't do. What they can't do or where we're going or what we're working towards, those are in the other sections, meaning we have the present levels of performance. Then we have our annual goal of like, where are we going based on what the child can do? Where are we going? What are we predicting is going to happen in these next 12 months? And then we have objectives. We have the steps to get there. Okay, how are we going to get there? But we don't take enough time in that present levels of performance. And this does not need to happen at the meeting. I'm not talking about taking, half of your meeting to talk about all the things the child can do. Of course, we have to talk about what needs to happen next. We have to prioritize what happens during that IEP meeting. But we do need to take some time to celebrate them, where they are at. And this is something that we absolutely can do in the IEP process before the IEP meeting. There's so many important things that need to happen before an IEP meeting. Like if you're going into an IEP meeting and you're not sure what's going to happen, I'll be honest with you, then you haven't prepared for the IEP meeting. Now, as a parent, you might be, but I'm doing the best that I can. Absolutely. As a teacher, you're like, I'm prepping as fast as I can. I get it. But if you're walking into an IEP meeting and you're not sure where a child's at, where things are going, and how you're going to get there, if you're not sure of at least kind of the 10,000-foot view of those things, then you haven't prepared for that meeting. So today we're talking about present levels of performance and how really documenting this makes a difference because it gives us time to celebrate of where the child is at and then take some time to figure out where are we going. But I want you as an educator to make sure that you are using the present levels of performance to celebrate where the child is at. I want to make sure that parents, that when you see this present levels of performance, all the things that your child can do, because that's what we're supposed to be focused on, present level of performance, not present level of deficits, not list all the weaknesses, present levels of performance. And I'm going to give you an example in a minute. But this is where you celebrate, look at what my child can do. All right. Now, when I got IEPs as a teacher, so for those of you that don't know, I've been in the field over 25 years professionally. I started out as a special education teacher. I have a brother who has Down syndrome, so I've been a special needs family for my entire life. And I became a special education teacher, and I can remember walking in. You guys have heard this a million times. I walk into my classroom, there's nothing there but this big green, milk crate filled with IEPs. And inside of there were a lot of things that I look at. And one of the things that I found from that first year of teaching all the way through those years that I was in the classroom is that the present levels of performance tends to say a lot of things that a child can't do. It'll say things like, child cannot count to 20. Like that's the present level of performance, that they cannot count to 20. Okay, present level of performance. What can they do? Tell me as a teacher. What can they do? What is this present level? That if I looked at all the present levels inside of the IEPs, I should not be wondering, what supplies do I need? What kind of supports does this child need? Prompting, all the things that go into a present level performance. A present level of performance is all about how they can get something done and what that something is in a concrete way. I want numbers, as in data, to be in that present level of performance. I want it focused on what the child can do. So this way, as a teacher, I know exactly where I'm starting with that student. As a parent, when you look at that present level of performance, you are confident that you know what your child is capable of in that school setting. So I have a question for you. Are you confident in the present levels of performance that you're writing as an educator, that you're receiving as an educator, as in, do you know how to get better present levels of performance out of the rest of your team? Because we need the whole team writing great present levels of performance. As a parent, are you feeling good that everything is documented accurately with concrete information for this present level of performance? I'll tell you, this is an area that can always be improved. It's never going to be perfect. Don't think that I'm looking for this textbook perfect present level of performance. No, if you've been around for any time here hanging out with me, learning about IEPs, I'm all about IEPs in the real world. I'm all about realistically, how is this IEP going to look and how is it going to work so we can build this in the best way for this child? So I'm not looking for the textbook version, because our students, our children, are not cookie cutter students that we can write everything exactly the way the textbooks say, but we can get things better. We can get more data. We can have things written more clearly. We can define what is the information that creates this present level of performance, whether we're talking about academic, social, emotional behavior, communication, any of those things. We should have very clear present levels of performance. I want to encourage you that if you go bust open that IEP, whether it's for your child or if you're a teacher and you're like, yep, I've got IEPs left and right all over my desktop because we're wrapping up the school year, or we just wrapped it up, or I'm already worried about next year. And you look at that present levels of performance and you're like, oh my gosh, it does. It's saying things that the child can't do. So I'm going to struggle with where to start. Or it doesn't have data. So it says my child can count, but do they need prompts? Do they need manipulatives? Do they need a quiet environment? Do they need a small group? Is it just counting on demand with a verbal instruction? What is it? What is this? So I want to make sure that's really clear. That's something we absolutely 100% can and will cover inside of the Master IEP Coach Mentorship. I want you to hop over to masteriepcoach.com. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Master IEP Coach Mentorship is a 5-week online program where I'm going to help you become the Master IEP Coach that your community needs. Parents, teacher, admin, therapist. No matter what your role is at the IEP table, you can be a Master IEP Coach. Some people come into the program to be a Master IEP Coach for their current role, meaning it's a parent who's learning everything for their family, or it's a teacher who's learning everything for their current caseload, for their current classroom. Some people come into the Master IEP Coach Mentorship because they're ready to expand. They want to help other people. Maybe they want to become a speaker. Maybe they want to build some online trainings so they can pass on the knowledge to more IEP teams. They want to work beyond their current role. So whether you want to improve your current role or you want to work beyond your current role, the Master IEP Coach Mentorship is for you. And one last thing about this. All right, 2 last things about it. Number 1 is that this is the final Master IEP Coach Mentorship of 2021. There will not be one in the fall. Not going to happen, okay? And that's because this fall I am all in with Master IEP coaches and making sure that we have a fantastic start to the school year, which means I'm going to be dedicated all of my time to current Master IEP coaches. And the only way to become a current Master IEP coach is either you've already taken the mentorship or you're taking it this summer. So you got to get in this summer because that's it, or you're waiting till 2022. Okay. Number 2, there's absolutely 100% a bonus for the summer mentorship, and that's because I want you to be successful. There's nothing more that I want, and I'm not kidding you when I say this, is I want you to create that positive ripple effect. I'm going to give you strategies that I have been using for over 20 years in special education. They work. You don't have to figure it out by yourself. You're going to be surrounded by progress coaches and guides to help you through this Master IEP Coach mentorship. If you've been in the field for 20 years, yet you're still going to learn stuff. If you're new to the field, or if you feel a little bit more inexperienced, maybe you're saying you're just a parent. I don't like that, but just a parent. Okay, kind of thing. Yes, this is for you too. You're going to learn a ton, okay, no matter what your role is. So you're going to take these strategies and put them into practice. But I want you to be successful in a way that you might not have been successful in the past when you have set goals for yourself or to change things up a bit. So when you sign up for the Master IEP Coach mentorship, you're going to get a bonus one-on-one meeting with me where I'm going to help make sure you got everything out of the mentorship that you needed and wanted. And number two, that you have a very clear plan of how you're going to move forward as a Master IEP Coach. Again, whether that's in your current role or going forward. So this is a bonus meeting because this is why. This didn't exist. I did this the last mentorship and it was wildly successful. I'm not kidding you. Like I got to meet so many great people and they're making a difference as Master IEP coaches, like teachers getting promotions, parents who now have a solid additional income stream by being a Master IEP coach. So many success stories. And one of the biggest pieces of feedback that I got was that the one-on-one coaching made a huge difference because it made you very clear on what to do next on that. So this is based on research. I was reading a bunch of research on how to make training programs more effective because we are doing great as Master IEP coaches inside of the mentorship, but I don't settle for great. I always want better, 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 and better, always making the mentorship better. And it said that if somebody makes an appointment or signs up for something to reach a goal, that there's something like, I want to say like 70% more likely to reach their goal. So let's just say that you had a goal of, oh, I wanted to become an advocate, but I don't really like that term advocate, but I know I want to help families or I know I want to help teachers. What am I going to do? I don't know. I'm going to figure it out on my own. Okay, if you sign up for something, you're like 70% more likely to reach it. But if you have an appointment, like an actual appointment to show up for accountability, that's the one-on-one session with me, you are 95% more likely to reach your goal. And I was like, yeah, I want everybody who enrolls in the Master IEP Coach mentorship to have that chance, 95% chance of reaching those goals. So we're going to have a bonus one-on-one meeting, just me and you, when you sign up to become a Master IEP Coach. So how many will be in the course? What is the capacity? There's not a capacity because what I do, Elisa, I love that you asked that question. So what we have done is as the program has grown, I've actually grown the support system inside of the program. So keep in mind that it's not just me. I'm leading the mentorship. I am there with you every step of the way. I have recorded trainings for you. I'm showing up live with you, but I also have a support system inside of the mentorship for everyone. So I have progress coaches, Lisa and Courtney. We have a new IEP progress coach, Markeisha, who's going to be joining us. She's going to be helping guide you through. She has a teaching background. Courtney is an SLPA. She's also a special needs mom. Markeisha is a special needs mom. And like I said, she has the teaching and administrative type background. Courtney is special needs mom, has an SLPA background. Lisa is a special needs mom, and she also has built a community partnership program for students with disabilities who are in those transition years, ages 14 and up. So she is our expert on the transition side of things. So these are all Master IEP coaches who have been there, done that, and are going to help you. So anybody who's thinking like, I'm telling you, I built an entire community and support system for you because I never want to put a capacity on this program because I don't want to turn anybody down who wants to become a Master IEP coach. So I can't be there for everything for everyone. So this community just keeps on continuing to grow. And let's talk about that just for a minute. What I could not have built, I could not have planned inside of the Master IEP Coach mentorship is the community aspect. What I did not know is people like Lisa and Courtney have now, they're like best friends and they never knew each other before the mentorship. We have 50 maybe a few more. Master IEP coaches flying in from around the country to come to a VIP weekend in Milwaukee this July. I couldn't have planned that. I mean, I planned some fun activities, but I couldn't have planned that. This is not just an online course. This has turned into an entire community of master IEP coaches who are making a difference. I always say we're the idea bringers, solution finders, and team builders at the IEP table. It's a collaborative way for everyone to work together. So again, head over to masteriepcoach.com. You'll get all the information that you need. In fact, when you sign up there, that's just where you drop your name and your email so you can get some more information. All right. I'm going to send you a welcome guide. Shares everything inside of there that you need to know to make the decision if you're ready to sign up and come join us in the summer. I almost said fall, but it's not happening in the fall. Summer. All right. So you're going to head over there. In the meantime, for those of you that are like, I'm not quite there yet. I don't really know if I even want more information about it. I want you to make sure that you watch the beginning of this and that you're taking that step about present levels of performance, that you're putting the pieces together, because whether you come into the Master IEP Coach mentorship and you want to soak it all in and then help at a whole new level inside of your community, or if you just want to learn in bits and pieces, and that's what we're doing here in these weekly trainings, I want you to make sure that you're looking at these pieces of the IEP that make a difference. I'm all about not sharing the things with you that you can Google. If you can Google it, I'm not going to teach it to you, okay? So present levels of performance, you can go look at what a textbook present levels of performance looks like. You can go Google that up. Okay. What we're talking about is how do we take this next level and make sure that we're celebrating what the child can do and that we're writing it all based on what a child can do. And that we're actually going to break down and take out the present levels of performance that are focused on what a child can't do or the weaknesses and the deficits. We want to be focused on what they can do. So these are the switches that we make as Master IEP coaches to truly change the entire projection of the IEP. That may seem like a small switch, but think about it. An IEP focused on everything they can't do, and then all the goals are set up. So we're only working on the most difficult things all day long, creating frustration and very little progress, and we're not seeing any momentum. Or are we focusing on what a child can do, building a strength-based IEP and making sure that we are building that momentum and that we're helping a child feel successful within their school day? Doesn't mean we're ignoring the weaknesses and the deficits. We're absolutely addressing them 100%. But inside of that present levels of performance, we're going to make sure that they're written clearly with data, with supporting information, focused on what a child can do. That's a Master IEP Coach method that I'm telling you, it changes the way that the goals are written. So I'd love to see you guys over at the Master IEP Coach Mentorship. Remember, there's the bonus meeting. So you are 95% more likely to reach your goals as a Master IEP Coach. I'm here for you. I am all in this summer. We have all been through chaos for these last 18 months, right? And it's time to come together, hit a reset, get refocused, make a difference. I hope that you're in with us. I'll talk to you guys soon.